So inequalities in triangles, this is a geometry topic. If you're not there yet, you'll probably still have to take geometry. If you're in algebra, you'll have to take geometry in most states. Kind of depends on what you're at and what your transcript is at. But in geometry, one of the things you talk about a lot is triangles. And specifically in this topic, we're going to talk about inequalities in triangles. Every triangle is made up of sides and angles. So like side AC is starting in A and going to C. We can actually measure that side as like 6 centimeters. It's the outside legs of the triangle. The angles are actually inside the triangle, like 51 degrees. It's basically the distance between the two sides. So angle A is 51. So they actually relate to each other. The sides can relate to the angles in that the smallest side corresponds to the smallest angle, and the biggest side corresponds to the biggest angle. So AC is the smallest side. Which angle is the smallest angle? And you can unmute yourself or type into the chat box. Which angle is the smallest?
It's going to be, I don't even see his. I'm not seeing his descent.
I'll go ahead and answer then, since we didn't get any answers. 34 degrees is the smallest angle. And those correspond to each other. This side AC doesn't actually touch that angle 34, where they're kind of across from each other. And that relationship always holds true. The side across from the angle, they're both the smallest. Or we could look at the largest. 12 is the largest side. It's across from the largest angle, 95 degrees. So this relationship of being across from each other holds true all the time. The medium size angle 51 corresponds to BC. It's the side across from it. So when you are given one of these problems in the geometry course that says name the sides in order from least to greatest, this time we don't actually know the side lengths. They didn't put numbers there, but we do know the angles. So if we take that relationship of the angle across from the side, we can name the smallest and medium and biggest sides. So the smallest angle is the 20 degrees. Across from it is the smallest side. And when you name a side, you just take the 2 letters. JK is the smallest. Then the middle angle is 32. We have biggest is 128, smallest is 20. So the middle is 32 degrees. And it corresponds to the middle side. The side across from it is the middle length. We don't need to know the actual length. We just need to know, hey, KL is the middle side. And then the biggest is across from the biggest angle. The biggest side is JL. And you don't have to keep the same order. You could go LJ, and that's still the largest side. You just have to use each letter to name this side. So then angle-wise, it's the same idea. If we want the angles in order from least to greatest, we look for the smallest side, and we do the angle across from it. The only angle not touching the 5, the only letter that's not with the side WX is the Y. So angle Y is the smallest. So then we look for the middle. X to Y is the medium-sized side. So the angle across from it is W. The only letter not on this side is the W. So that's the middle-sized. And then the biggest is the 13. And WY is the biggest side. The only letter not used is the X. That's the angle across So it is the biggest angle. So then inequalities in triangles also includes deciding if 3 different side lengths could make a side. There will be questions asking, name it from largest to smallest, or it'll just say, can you use 2, 8, and 12, and can that actually be a triangle? So what happens is the biggest side, if the other 2 sides are too small, they're never going to touch each other to make a triangle. So the way to check this is to take the 2 smallest sides and add them together. And this number needs to be bigger than the biggest side, the 3rd side. But in this case, that's not true. 10 is not greater than 12, so these could not make a triangle. So that's that actual entire geometry section. Some of the geometry sections are a little bit quicker, but I just wanted to make sure we cover that topic because that's what I stated in the schedule of what we would cover. But now we can go back to any questions. Does anyone still have questions from their courses?